Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta, and as you've probably seen, Joe Biden is dropping out of the 2024 presidential election, and he has endorsed or put his support behind Kamala Harris. And this has been going around in the news a lot, so I'm sure you've probably heard about it. And some people are thinking that Kamala might become the president. Some of that goes into this Simpsons image in which they've shown, and the Simpsons seem to be right pretty often because the writer, he's pretty juiced in, so he puts some little tidbits into his art, and that's known as revelation of the method. So they'll tell you what they're doing before they do it in order to try to divert the cosmic or karmic repercussions. But it's really just the judgment of the Most High, and they're not getting away. The Lord's just saving up all their wickedness to judge them at the end, because they are the people of the Lord's curse to judgment. We've got some little facts here about Kamala. This was put in the group by the bishop earlier today, and it says Kamala Harris facts. She was raised in Canada, not California. She's not African American. She's actually Indian and Jamaican. Her father being Indian, which would actually make her a terror, I guess you could say, or she's a heathen. Basically, she's not actually an Israelite, as many Israelite women in particular think she is. It says her political career started out of affair with a married man. She's imprisoned over 2,000 black, or so-called black, quote-unquote black people for minor drug charges, and held them past their release date for free county labor resource, in some respects slave labor. And she's a descendant of Hamilton Brown, one of the largest slave owners and traders in Jamaican history. And so she's put here to represent something in which she is not. She's really just another oppressive heathen. And then this was put into the group by Captain Abba. And it says California State Speaker Willie Brown with high-end call girl Kamala Harris in 1994. And so the thing that is spoken of is that she slept her way to the top. And it sure seems like it to me. Not saying she did or didn't, but that's what it looks like on the outside. And that's where, back in this image, it says political career started out of an affair with a married man. And so there you have it right there. And so by all means, it does seem like the signs are leading up to her possibly being the president, and it would be extremely fitting considering that we're here in America, which in the scriptures, America is described as a great whore, the whore of Babylon. And so it would be extremely fitting to have a whore as the head of Babylon. So this is Revelation 17 in verse 3. It says, "So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast." And that scarlet being a shade of red, and as we know in the scriptures, Esau is described as being red, and that woman being this whore of Babylon that he saw sitting on the beast. And the beast being a a power structure, a rulership structure. It said, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And so this is Esau's power structure or rulership structure. And it starts out with the 7 heads, the 7 heads being Greece, Rome, Germania Major, Germania Minor, Spain, France, and Britain. So those are the 7 heads, and the 10 horns go into the vassal states of these different heads. And with now it currently being NATO and the EU. So that's what America is riding or controlling, sitting on top of. And it says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearl. So it's showing the favor that this great whore is in. And as it says in the scriptures, Babylon was a golden cup in the Lord's hand. And we know that America has been sitting fat in its riches from all its thievery throughout the ages. People really think this is the golden city. It says, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Because America looks good on the outside. It looks wealthy and dazzling. But on the inside, it's rotten. And it's full of robbery and murder. And it says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Salakia, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And so this place is described as the mother of harlots. It's described as a great whore. And so it would be fitting to have a great whore sitting on top of Babylon, or in other words, being its president. But I don't believe that she'll actually get in. And I say that because of the prophecies in which it says that it speaks of the king of Babylon very often. And so I don't think that should be overlooked. And this is all up in the air. We'll see. We'll see when it comes to being at the election, if the election even happens. But just putting it out there that I don't believe that she will get in, because I believe we're at the end, and I believe that the prophecies don't speak of the king of Babylon, or speak of the king of Babylon. I don't think it's speaking of it for no reason at all. But we will see. This is Isaiah 14 and verse 4. It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. And so you can see the connection to Revelation 17, because it spoke of the golden, of it sitting up high, basically. But it's also speaking of the king of Babylon, which Babylon, aka America, is ran by the banking elite, but there's still usually a president. And we will see how this turns out, but I don't think she'll actually get in. I think this is just driving publicity. And as P.T. Barnum said himself, that any publicity is good publicity. And so they could just be trying to increase the voter turnout for this coming election. But we will see. It's Jeremiah 25 and verse 12. And it says, and it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, saith the Lord, for their iniquity in the land of the Chaldeans, and will make it perpetual desolations. And so this Babylon in the scriptures is referring to Iraq. That's where it was located, but it's not a perpetual desolation as of this day. There are people that live there, but Mystery Babylon, or the Whore of Babylon, is America, and it's prophesied to be destroyed, which that destruction comes through nuclear fire, and that no one will dwell here ever again. So you see perpetual desolations, and so you know it's actually prophetic because people still live in Iraq. And we're going to finish it out here, still in Jeremiah, but in verse 50, or chapter 50, verse 43. Jeremiah 50 and 43, it says, "The king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble," which really sounds like it's describing Babylon. I mean, describing Biden, because he's so feeble and senile, but this will be describing whichever commander-in-chief there is when Babylon is about to be struck with the nukes. It says, "Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as of a woman in travail." And so there's more talk of this king of Babylon. I didn't mention a queen of Babylon, which Kamala Harris would be, but it mentions a king of Babylon. And so just using the scriptures and the prophecies to peer through all of the chaos that's going on right now, and just putting this out there that I don't think she'll actually be voted in as the president, but again, we will see. And Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.